everybody, this is Chris with Reptiles and Oddities. How y'all doing today? We're going to go take a look around at the reptiles and to see how everybody's doing. And then I'm going to kind of just go out through the day and how who knows what's going to go on with this channel today. So let's see what happens in this video. So hang on a second. Alright, so we're in my reptile room right now. And my God, I got a lot of work to do. So start off with this behemoth. I still got a lot to do to this sumbitch. Ugh. So what we got here are two 4x4x2s. They're stacked on top of each other, and the kicker is, don't knock that over, that is a port. There's a sky hide in here. That's what that box is. Yeah, that box. There's a entrance right there. This is a door. And it's a sky hide, and that sky hide has a PVC pipe 6-inch that will allow the BCI boas to go in between them. And yep, this is going to be for two boas, a male and a female. But what I got to do now is I got to first order the glass for this one. That's going to be another $70. Then I can go get the PVC pipe, and I've got plenty of wood. I've got a lot of foam that I can build a tree in here that starts from the bottom. It looks like it goes to the top, and then get a vinyl background for this damn thing, for that one too, to kind of simulate the fourth floor up to the canopy. Get some leaves down there, get a good water source down there, get a little water source here, do another ground height there, do a better sky height and a ground height up in this one, and get the lights for it and all that. And this is going to be my background for my podcast table, which I'm not going to be a podcaster, but it's when I am a guest for podcasts, or when I just go on to Texoma Exotics channel whenever we're doing our little Saturday night hangout, reptile hangout. So if y'all want to see that, go check out Texoma Exotics and give them a follow. Great people. So but yeah, I got that table done and everything. There's a couple of my oddity pieces. I got a pig in that one we call Kevin. Stewart is somewhere around here. Stewart's behind, almost falling off. Yeah, Stewart is a little mouse. It's a pinky. So call him Stewart. And yep, a fetal pig. I need to change out the fluid in this thing. But yeah, that's a little pig in there, fetus of a pig. But then we get over here, my little black rat's in here somewhere, probably hiding. You know, he blends in really good. I got my timber rattlesnake that's in brumation. Got my western massasauga down there. I got my desert guana there. And here I got my western diamondbacks. Where are they? Oh, one's right there. And here's my leopard geckos. Then we have a western rat in there that's also in brumation. So these drawers, they all pull out. And you see right there's my timber rattlesnake right there, the canebrake face. So yeah, they're in brumation basically, and these lights don't put off no heat or nothing like that. They're just lights. And here is my my reticulated python. My two ball pythons are down here. They're actually been breeding, so cross fingers for luck. Then here we have another snake that's in brumation. I got a Sonoran gopher snake, and then in here, which hopefully these will be out as quick as I possibly can, and they'll be in that big son of a bitch. These are my two BCI red-tailed boas. So yep. And then I have a white tree frog in that one. I have a soft-shelled albino soft-shell, and then a little common snapper in these. So everything except for the common snapper, that she's not big enough yet to get a bigger enclosure. That is absolutely huge for her. That one's going. That one's going to get a new enclosure. It's actually set on the front, out on the in the shop. These are getting new one. This one's going to get a new one. This one's going to get a 6-foot enclosure because it's a super dwarf reticulated python. I'm going to build another enclosure. It's a 4x2x2 for the male ball python, but then I also want to come through here and redo this whole enclosure. And then that one's good. When that one grows up, that one's going to get an enclosure. I want to build a bigger one for the leopard geckos. When these get big enough, they'll definitely need one. I'm currently building one for the timber rattlesnake. That one's just a baby, and you can actually see the little western Masaga right there. And then also the desert iguana, he's hiding right now, so he's in his cave. Y'all, he's gonna get a humongous enclosure date on him soon. This one, nothing's in it. I'm just letting the plants anchor and grow. And I'm actually thinking about putting a killed belly lizard in this, or maybe something else. And then here is my tokay gecko. And yeah, they got what, the water droplets on there because I use normal house water. And let's see if you can see the little tokay. Right there's the tokay. So yeah, but I'm going to be getting rid of this. Oh yeah, and here is my sling. It's a Brazilian blue tarantula. So that thing is absolutely small. Let's see if we can see it. Yep, right there it is in the corner. So yeah, there's nothing in here, but this whole setup is gonna go bye-bye. Well, and that setup's gonna go bye-bye. I'm gonna get rid of them. I'm actually gonna build me a complete stand that holds everything that's glass on it, except for the snapping turtles enclosure. And now I've got the hiccups. So, and the new addition that I have to get lights on. He's in his enclosure. I got me a buddy of mine brought over a male leopard gecko, so therefore he's in here and everything like that. So I'm eventually going to be breeding leopard geckos, I guess. So because I got 3, 2 females, 1 male now. Nothing's in there. And then here is my desert hairy scorpion. There's like 3 caves in here, 1 here, this one, and there's 1 back there. That guy could be anywhere, and then it could be under the rock, but he's only like that big right now, so perfect. So how about we get out here and show you a couple things. Oh, so I did record a video yesterday, but since my phone is so full of the service updates and memories there, not there, I can't save the video, so I gotta redo it. If y'all have seen this yesterday, this thing was a mess. Had to clean up the rat bins. The rat bins are nice and clean, and yeah, so they're good. This big piece right here, I built this because I can put a tarp over it, and I could put a little space heater in there and keep this nice and warm whenever we get cold, like we're about to. We got a cold front coming through. It's gonna knock it down in the 20s. So yeah, I got this 75 and a 55. I'm probably gonna end up selling both of these. Did have a octagon that I sold yesterday. So, and then that pump's actually supposed to be for the snapping turtles. I just gotta get longer hoses. So this is a 90-gallon that I'm going to build, and I'm just gonna sell it. I'm just gonna build it like a desert theme aquarium and sell it if I don't end up changing my mind. It's on a 150-gallon stand. The tank's actually outside. I gotta get some buddies over and we can move that in here, and I gotta fix this stand because it's wanting to separate. The nails are coming out. So got me a couple mice when I got all these tanks kind of donated to me. So this right here is the female with her babies buried up in there, and then they got the male down there. I got to separate them because the male's been known to eat the baby, so don't want that. This tank, I built this. As soon as that soft shell goes, then this one's coming in, and this one's for my white tree frogs. So I've got a drip wall on this one and a waterfall on this side, and it's themed just like Australia. Now the lava rock is going to come out because, yeah, I don't want the lava rock in there. They're just holding it down for the test, the foam, because the foam floats. I got to figure out some other form on keeping it stationary. Probably use some real heavy-duty Velcro. So that'll go in there. And the white tree frogs will have paradise. So then I gotta need some enclosures. So this top one is going to be the bearded dragon, which that's the only other animal I forgot to mention. I have a bearded dragon that was in there. The bearded dragon was rescued. I did a video when I rescued her. I got a call and they said they found a horny toad in their backyard and turned out to be a bearded dragon that someone turned loose. Do not turn your animals loose. That's absolutely dumb. So then we have this enclosure. This one's going to be the timber rattlesnakes enclosure, and they are both measured 4 foot by 2 by 2. So yeah, and I was wanting to actually go through, and I don't want to record every enclosure build because that's just going to get absolutely boring. I want to do more interesting video and content. So but at the end of the video, at the end of this whole thing, when I get all these enclosures done, I'll do a full walkthrough of all of the enclosures in the whole room. But for the meantime, instead of me going through every enclosure build, how about I just tell y'all on how to build this enclosures, or how I do it, and then y'all can take that and run. And if you want to see what I'm doing, you can just check out the pictures over on Instagram. So hang on, let me get all the materials out and I'll describe exactly how I do this. Okay, so I'm sitting here, I got all the stuff that I use to build these enclosures. So let me start off with when I go to the store. So I go to the local department store, Lowe's, because that's the closest one to me that is readily available. The mom and pops, lumber yards, they're closed half the time when I get off work or when I have the opportunity to go. So just go to Lowe's. I don't have a truck, so I can't bring them back and cut them myself. So I buy the pieces and I take them back there, have them cut it every 2 feet if I'm building a 4 by 2 by 2. If you're building something different, you just got to make sure you get your measurements right and have them cut it, unless you have a way to bring it back home. Currently, my S10 is setting with no motor, and our Durango is needing a computer because the old computer burned up. If you want to see that rant, go over to Rockabilly Customs and you'll see that rant right there, because that was completely bullshit and it still is. So, but not of that, we're going to be talking about these enclosures. So get it back here. We're going to build this. When we build it, I stand it on the concrete pad because it's a hell of a lot easier doing it that way. And I'm running one pilot screw hole through it. See if I can get this. And it's a little drill bit. Then you're going to take, that's one thing I'm forgetting. What the hell? Oh! I hope the sound quality on this sounds good, because this remote for the headset, this mic just fell out. But yeah, you'll take a drill bit, drill your hole where your screw's going to go. Then I'll come back and I'll put a bead of wood glue, which I use the Gorilla wood glue. Run a bead down the whole joint of where the wood is actually going to be connecting to each other. Then I'll put my first screw in, and then I'll switch back to the drill bit, go put my next screw in, or put my next pilot hole in, then I run the next screw in. Then I go to the middle on the shorter ends, then I put the middle one in, and then there you go, that's all fastened. Then you can get to your longer piece, And then that one actually has 5 screws in it, and you just repeat the process over and over and over until you have a box. Hell, you're going to do the same thing for the trim too. So when I get that all done, then I'm coming back with 100% silicone and a caulking gun. I go right there at where the wood meets each other, and I run a bead of silicone all through the whole box. That will ensure that no moisture and no substrate can get down in between the wood if there is a void there. You can fill it up with silicone. Once that's all dried, then I am drilling holes with and again, that's the one thing that I did not grab. And I don't think I'm gonna find, oh, I will find it. You're gonna cut these holes like so in the wood, and then you're also going to cut that big hole there. Well, first, these holes, you're going to use one of these. This is a 2-inch hole cutting bit. You can pick this up at Lowe's, Home Depot, hell, I think Walmart even has them. So that's going to do is going to allow you to hook in ventilation. And again, and I'm just not ready. Yesterday when I had had it all recorded, I was ready, had everything out, but I'm got now. Here is one of the vents. Now they do offer different ones. You can go to Amazon, so I get mine. They're really cheap, and you'll just glue these in. A lot of times I like gluing them in with liquid nail. That ensures that this is never going to come out, so you won't have a snake or anything that gets loose and out of it. So, but you won't put these in until you're done with everything else. So just be patient. Just drill your holes, drill your big hole in the back, and what that big hole is actually going to allow you to hook one of these dudes in. This is that port that allows you to run your wires in, and then you can twist it and lock it back. The only do is the little ring on the back, you're not going to be able to tighten it because this wood's thicker. This wood is a little bit thicker than 1/2 inch, but not 3/4. It's between there, like 1532s, I think. If I'm correct, don't quote me on that. Well, wind just got here, or that was rain, one or the other. But you're going to drill a hole for that, and that allows you to run your electrical, like your lights, your misting kit, or whatever you want to do. You can run that all in through there, and you're going to glue that plastic piece in with liquid nail. But again, wait till you get the next steps done before you glue anything in. So once you got your holes cut, you can go on the outside, and I use this DA sander, so you have to have an air tank. If not, get ready. You can use an electric one, or you can do it by hand. But I use 80 grit sandpaper. You can go to Harbor Freight or anywhere and get you these 6-inch disc stick-on sandpaper. That's what my DA uses. They got different other ones. Just use 80 grit sandpaper or something coarse like that. And I like to go around and brand out the edges on the whole thing. So therefore, and then do the same thing at the bottom, bevel everything, sand the whole outside so it's nice and smooth. No one's going to get a splinter or nothing like that. It looks good, and etc. So, and I even sand down the trim too before I do anything to it. So once that's done, then you can paint the outside. The outside, I paint it with this Color Max indoor outdoor flat black paint. It's latex, so I just literally take a paintbrush and just paint it on, and there you go. That's the outside, and I do this little lip too that way. It's a new thing I started doing, so therefore I like it. So I'm actually going to take all the other tanks in there. Whenever I bring them out, I'm going to just paint the lip on them. So once you get that done, these 2x4s is the next thing I'm going to do. you take your 2x4s, you measure from the inside, and you will cut it on your table saw or saw right there. Sorry, I'm still not fully awake, but you would be painting, you would be cutting it, and then I like to burn them. So I get them burnt to a certain level that I want, and you just take a metal scraper, kind of like what you use for a grill, and you just scrape your charcoal off. The other thing I like doing is on these corners right here, I like cutting this out, and I only go in about maybe an inch and a half, so I still got room to run the screws in the backside without them poking through here. And you just make multiple passes on your table saw, then you can take a screwdriver, twist it, it pops them out, and you're left with this. So what that does is when you run your glass in, you can actually run it in there to give it a nice appearance. And then again, maybe it's a good little extra insurance so the animals can't get their fingers around or open the glass somehow. So, but who knows if that's actually happening. But once you get this in there, again, this is pilot hole with the drill bit glued and then screwed down all the sides, anchor them in. And I'm hoping, like there's a bin right here. This thing is sagging down. I'm hoping when I get the trim today, I will put that in. I'll straighten that up. If not, I'll just add like a little piece, like maybe something like this. Go get a new one of these and just put that in there, and that will hold it up. But I think the trim's going to do it. So once you got your trim in there, you can dry lock the inside. This dry lock stuff is awesome. It's concrete masonry waterproofing. It's latex, and I get the white that's tintable. It's like $35 for a gallon. Go get it at Lowe's, go get it at Home Depot. Ace Hardware I think even has it. So once you get that, if you want to change the color of it, I like using this concrete Quick Right color. It's a liquid base, and I like using the charcoal because, well, look at it, it's kind of dark. I like it. But they have brown. They also have other colors like buff, which gives you a more sandier texture. I've been looking for that one. I can't find it locally, so probably gonna have to order that one. So I like to coat the whole inside with dry lock, and that's going to protect the wood from being rotted, from mold, from anything that could be harmful to the animal supposedly. And it gives you a nice appearance, so I like it. Looks really good. But you're never going to see this background honestly once I'm fully finished, because I'm going to come back and I'm going to wrap it in a vinyl background, or I'm going to actually sculpt my own background out of foam. And then again, once the foam is all sculpted, I'll coat it with dry lock. Then I'll come back with acrylic paint to go over the high spots and lightly touch it up to give it more of a realistic appearance. Those I will record, but again, on the enclosure itself, I won't. So once you get your inside completely dry locked, I'm talking about the inside, even the back side of this trim's all dry locked, ceiling, sides, everything. You're ready for staining. So you're gonna be careful. Don't stain your lip unless you want to, and you can stain over the black or the burnt. You get a really nice deep appearance. This one typically I'd like doing red, but actually I'm going to be changing the colors. So I don't know, the ones I've done might be changing, might sand it all down and then just reburn it and restain it, because this one's going to be purple. So this one's going to be for the bearded dragon, so it's going to have a purple stain. Then it's going to have the lettering done in white. Saphira and Jamie from Graceful Pythons is going to be doing it, so a big shout out to her. And this is going in the house, so this one is going to get a sculpted background from the ceiling, or from the floor to the ceiling, all wrapped around, so you're never going to see none of this dry lock at all in here, except for maybe the very top. So that still has a long ways to go, same as this one. So, but once you get all that done, you're really ready for the tracks. This is the cutoff pieces from the 4x4x2s, and you can get this stuff off Amazon in 2 foot, 4 foot, 6 foot, I think even 8 feet. It's just glass door tracks. They're sliding glass door tracks. They're made out of plastic, and this bigger piece is for your top. This smaller piece is for your bottom. And what you do is when you put them in there, you put them in there, you put this on the top. Take your measuring stick and measure from here to the top of here, and maybe give you a hair of a shorter measurement. Because what you're trying to do is you're trying to make it enough room to where you can mount this in, you can put this in, and you can just pop your glass in and set it down on this track without it falling enough past this lip and falling out. And then if you want to clean it, you can pop it out and then put it back in with ease. But what I like doing is I'll get my measurement, I'll wait to install this. I'll go install the top piece, but the bottom piece I'll wait. Then once my glass comes in, I will put it all together, and then I'll actually put both pieces in, and I'll shut it, and then I'll put tape on there. And what that's doing is, as the glass is setting in there like it should, it's going to align the two pieces so they're not like a little bit off. They're perfectly nice and straight up and down, so your glass will slide back and forth. It's just a little hack on how I glue this track in and make sure it's aligned a little easier. But outside of that, that's when you can glue in your ventilation and your plastic port for the back for your electrical. You can glue all that in. Again, I use liquid nail. Once you're done with that, you're basically ready to, once everything's dried, you're ready to put the animal in. So unless you want to go further and theme out the enclosure, it's really up to you. Your box is built, it's ready, it's sealed. So yeah, the only thing that you want to make sure, allergies starting to hit me, have you a leveler to make sure your box is leveled, have you a good ruler, a measuring tape to make sure you're nice and squared, even have you a square, one of those metal piece rulers that are squared, so your ends are actually all squared. Measure, if you got a cut, measure 3 or 4 times, or however much you're comfortable, to make sure your one cut, you're not going to cut too short, you're not going to cut too long. You can always cut more off. You can't add more back to it. So what I'm saying is, like for instance, let's take this enclosure. Dang, what happened to the house? Kids. You don't, like for instance, let's take this enclosure. This is 4 foot by 2 by 2. If you go from that outside to that outside, that's 4 foot. Same thing with that, 4 foot, 4 foot. You go from this outside to the outside of back there, that is 2 feet. Same thing with that side and that and that. Then if you go from here to here, we're 23 and a half. Perfect right there. From here, 23 and a half to 23 and a half right there. Perfect. That's 23 and a half. Same thing back there. 23 and a half, 23 and a half. So what that is doing, and hell, you can even go to an X. Go from there to there, find that measurement, from there to there, and find that measurement. What you're just making sure is that everything is nice and straight, everything is cut correctly, because the last thing you want to do is have 23 and a half here and then 25 up there. What that's going to do is when your glass shuts, it's going to fall because it dropped out of the upper track, and it's going to fall, and if that hits concrete, it's real glass, so it's just going to shatter. So if you make sure that everything is cut straight and all, get one of these pencils, get you a 6 foot straight edge leveler, and you can make sure you have a nice straight line, and then go back and on that line, if you make a big cut, go back and measure each part in that line, like every foot, to make sure you're constant, the same length across there. And also from the other side, in case like say one edge is kind of like cut like ear, and then the other side's just nice and straight. If you like say if you come around to that and you cut your line because you went off one side, then you might still being the same problem. If you go from the other side and make sure, like, hey, I'm an inch off this side, but I am 2 feet from this side. Over here, it's an inch off, but I'm actually 2 feet and 1 inch from the other side. Well, it means when you cut that, it's going to be off. Measure from that back side, so make sure the part you are cutting is exactly the measurement that you want, and you're only cutting the bat off. But I hardly ever run into that. So people at Lowe's should be right on the money on how they're cutting. I haven't ran an issue with mine. Yeah, the wind's picking up out there, and you can feel the cold air coming in. But again, if you get all that done, you're done with these enclosures as far as just getting them built. It's when you want to theme them out and hook your lights up and your misting, if you're going to do that. Yeah. So, okay guys. Well, hopefully y'all like this video. So, alright guys. Well, hopefully someone will find this video informational. Hopefully y'all like the enclosures that I'm building. I am going to first go make sure my kids aren't causing hell with my wife. Then I'm going to come back out and cover up the rats, put a little heater in there, do something with these mice, make sure they're nice and warm. I got to clean a few enclosures, make sure everybody's got food. Then I got to edit this video. It's a lot. So, alright guys. Well, you have a good one. I'll catch you on the next one. I don't know when the next video is going to come out. It's getting kind of slow. But if y'all want to ask any more questions about these enclosures, feel free to hit me up on Instagram. Oh. One thing I did forget. Too many distractions. The glass. If you're looking to find out where to get the glass, just Google glass companies around you. You got these little windshield companies. They can order glass for you, and a lot of times they're doing housing glass too. So which means they can get you acrylic glass too for these enclosures. It's pretty reasonable. I think it cost me like $50 to get the glass for these enclosures. That's 2 pieces cut. There's a 1/4 inch thick acrylic aquarium glass. So yeah, when y'all get y'all's glass, I don't like using plexiglass. I like using real glass. Gives it a better appearance and all. So also found out these enclosures hold heat really good. So I don't have to run those strong heat emitters. Actually, I'm running hardly any heat in my room. I'm running off ambient temperature, and these enclosures are staying perfect where they should be. And the ones closer to the floor are getting a little cooler. That's why I have the clubrets close to the floor. So yeah. So okay guys, well, y'all have a good one. I'm gonna get out of here. Yeah, whenever I get the boas in their bigger enclosure, y'all will definitely see that. That's gonna be a glorious day. God, I want these animals in bigger enclosures. Hate it that they're in smaller enclosures, and that wasn't by choice. That's what they were given or surrendered to me in. So I'll go in more detail on that one when that video comes out. So okay guys, y'all have a good one, and I'll catch you on the next one. Do not forget to subscribe. It's absolutely free, and it's going to help me get better and better on these videos. And hell, who knows, maybe I'll take y'all along when I go road cruising. So okay guys, have a good one. Bye bye.